When it comes to wholesaling deals, negotiation is the moment that turns a simple conversation into thousands of dollars in profit or leaves you walking away empty-handed. And without dialing in the right communication strategy, there is no way I'd consistently be clearing six figures every single month flipping land the way I do today. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to negotiate deals in a way that builds instant trust, uncovers the seller's true motivation, and gets them genuinely comfortable and excited when it comes to accepting your offer without giving pushback. Let's dive in. The psychology behind closing deals, how to instantly build trust, is something that you either have or you do not have, and I'll show you how to do it right now. It's extremely important to figure out why the seller is actually selling the property. Do they need the money? Do they want the money? Do they care about the money? Or is their motivation that they're just tired of the property? You caught them on the right day and, two people met and came to a deal. There's many things that will come into play. Every deal is going to be different. For example, I just got off the phone with the lady who did not care much about the money. Even though she's getting top dollar for her property and wouldn't settle for less, she didn't care about the money. For her, this was a property that her mother passed down to her, and her mother has passed away, and it was important to her that the property, the piece of land, ended up in the right hands of somebody. So obviously, I'm not telling her about how great I am. I'm not telling her about how much money I make, how many deals I do. I'm telling her how we work with the greatest builders in the nation that only sell to first-time home buyers in the FHA program that are well-renowned, etc., to make sure she understands it's not just going in the hands of some money-hungry, once-a-year home builder. It's going to someone that actually has a real program that helps first-time home buyers, that offers incentives, things like that. Now, next is obviously going to be the price once you have figured out their motivation. The price is typically going to be the toughest hurdle to get over. A lot of these sellers believe their property is worth a lot more than it really is. So what you need to do in each area that you are negotiating and working deals is having an exact price point that you know each of these lots are worth. Do not start negotiating with the seller till you truly know what the property is worth and what you can get for it from an end buyer. So what I like to do when negotiating with sellers is not give them a firm number. I like to give them a range of what we are typically getting similar lots for, and also taking the time to show them and send them some quick pictures or links of lots in the area that have sold at some lower pricing. Obviously, you're not going to send them the lots or the pieces of land, the comps that have sold for top price, correct? You want to send them some of the lower priced sales to use that to your advantage to negotiate the lowest price with the seller. So for example, if you're in Cape Coral and the typical lot is selling for $40,000, you know that you can flip it to an end buyer, a home builder, for $40,000. So you need to be below that benchmark. I would come in telling the seller, hey, we're typically picking these up for anywhere from $30,000 to $32,000 on or off market, and we have no issue getting deals at that price. Now, you also, Mr. or Mrs. Seller, have a few lots identical a couple streets over that have sold within that price range too as of very recently. Now, I know they're not going to accept $30,000 or $32,000, but I know that if I at least start low, we can meet in the middle at that $35,000 range, and I can still flip it for $40,000 and make my $5,000 profit. So once I hit the seller with that initial low range of $30,000 to $32,000, knowing they want $40,000, they will come back obviously with a counter. They're either going to tell me no, or they'll say, you know what, I'll take $38,000. And I know I need the property at $35,000 at most. Maybe I can go up to $36,000 and make $4,000 on the deal. So here is the important part where the seller comes down and you start to use that price against them. So they tell you, you know what, you're offering me $30,000 to $32,000, I need to be at $38,000. Here is where I would leverage the fact that this is not your typical closing scenario. This is not a realtor. This is a direct buyer. You're not waiting days on the market or months on the market for the deal to sell, and you're not paying any closing costs. We pay the closing cost, all the fees, and this is a cash transaction. So once the seller says, okay, you know what, I'll come down to $38,000, here is where I'll ask them, okay, so if you listed the property on the market with a realtor and you got an offer for $38,000, you're telling me you would take it. And 10 out of 10 times they will say, yes, I would take that offer. I'll say, great, but there is no realtor involved. There's no listing the property on the market, and I will pay all the closing costs for you. So if you were to list this property on the market and accept an offer of $38,000, after paying out realtors, closing costs, and sitting on the market for multiple months to get the deal sold, you'd probably be walking away with somewhere around $33,000 to $34,000. Now, what I'm willing to do right now is give you a cash offer of $35,000, okay, which is better than if you were to get $38,000 on the market. And I will pay every single closing costs, every single fee with the title company. I'll close within 30 days. We can do this right now. You have nothing to wait on. And on top of that, you do not have to pay out 6% of the end purchase price to a realtor. So that right there is exactly how you bring them from 40 to 38,000 and then to 35,000. You secure the deal for 35 and you flip it for 40 to the end buyer and you make your $5,000 in between. Every single conversation you have with sellers about the price, that is what you are going to use right there. Now that you have had a seller agree upon price, you just got through the hardest part, but you still need to close the deal and give them the reassurance that the deal is actually going to close. So we have agreed upon 35 grand. What is the next step? And you are the one that needs to present and walk the seller through the next step so that they can see it through the end. They don't see it as just signing a contract for $35,000 right now and hoping that they get the money. You need to walk them through the entire process from signing the contract right now to actually getting paid so they can see it, they can feel it, and they know it is real. Here's exactly the process you will explain to the seller once you have agreed upon price. So Mr. or Mrs. Seller, now that we have agreed upon a price, here's the next steps. Number one, I'm going to send over a quick contract to you that you can sign through your email, on your phone, whatever's easiest for you. The contract is very clear. It could not be more simple. It is standard. It's good with the title company that we're going to use. It'll show the purchase price, the amount of days that we need to close, and the fact that you're not paying any realtors, and the fact that you are not paying any closing costs, that we cover all the fees. So once I send that over to you and we get it signed, the first thing I'm going to do is send that over to the title company tomorrow. The title company will reach out to you, letting them know that we have a contract. They'll get your information and we'll begin the title search and we'll get the entire process started so that we can get an official closing date. So that's giving them reassurance right there that they know the contract's going to a title company. It's not just a handshake deal, and that the title company will be reaching out to them within a few business days. So once you speak with the title company, get everything over to them, we'll get an official closing date. On the day of closing, you do not need to go into the title company office. You can sign a contract with an online notary, or you could go to your local post office with the documents and they will typically have a notary on site. Once you sign the documents and the title company receives the copy, you will get the funds directly wired to your account or a cashier's check. Whatever your preference is, it is between you and the title company. The money will be wired to the title company and the title company will disperse the funds to you upon closing. So that right there shows the seller there is an actual process that you have done a ton of times. Whether it's your first time or your 500th time, the way it has been for me, well, you need to act like you've done this 500 times. You need to make the seller comfortable. You need to act like this is routine and you need to walk them through the process. Now, here's one many people do not talk about, but is going to be fairly common, especially when you're dealing with vacant raw land. Now, even though you agree upon 35 grand and flip it to a buyer for 40 grand, there is still a chance sometimes that the buyer comes back and says, hey, something's wrong with this piece of land. I can't do 40 grand. I need to be at 35,000. And now you're in a position where you have a contract with the seller for 35 and a contract with the buyer for 35, and you're not making any money. So there are times where you're going to need to reach back out to the seller and adjust the price. Now, look, obviously sometimes the seller is going to freak out, or sometimes they'll be easygoing about it. You need to know exactly why the buyer is coming back with a lower price. What is wrong with the property? Be ready to show them proof and explain it to them, acting as if you are just as disappointed as them, that you do not want to deal with this either, that you wish you were paying them full price and just getting on with it, that this is not something you intended or something you're able to see when giving them the initial contract and the initial price. That after signing a contract, you're able to go check out the land, order some reports on it, and actually figure out if it is good to go and if it's ready for a house to be built on it. So things happen, right? Sometimes the land has a portion which is wetlands. It is wet. It has water in the soil. Sometimes there's wildlife on the property. Sometimes it is completely sloped and you weren't able to see that initially until you got a quote from a dirt company to fill it, level it, and make it even. So these are all things that come up, and whenever they do come up, you need to be prepared to bring it up to the seller and know what you're talking about. So you'd give the seller a call back, let them know, hey, I just got everything back for your property. Look, I will give you some good news and some bad news. The good news is we're still good to go. The bad news is we need to adjust the price here here, we found some things during our study that are an issue with the land that are out of our control and out of your control. So the property had some wetlands on it, and wetlands require us to mitigate them, and it is not cheap. Most buyers are not even going to be willing to negotiate with you or move forward on this deal. But we're here to close the deal. We're here to negotiate. Trust me, I wish we weren't doing this. I wish we just were staying at the $35,000 we agreed upon, no hiccups, and closing the deal. But I am going to need a price reduction on the property to be able to move forward, considering X reason that is wrong with the property. Remember, wetlands, wildlife, it needs dirt because it's sloped, whatever the reason is, right? I'm going to need X price reduction to be able to move forward and justify this purchase. Your property has this issue at $35,000. All the other properties, the pieces of land in the area, are also $30,000 to $35,000, and they do not have this issue. They are ready to go. Now, the most common thing you are going to get from a seller is, fine, cancel the deal, I'll just sell it to someone else. So before they say that, here's what you are going to tell them. So look, I've done this hundreds of times, Mr. or Mrs. Seller, and some sellers think that, oh, you know, I'll just sell the property to someone else, but I just want to make you aware, nobody's going to deal with this, okay? There's thousands of lots available that are perfect, ready to go, do not have any issues, and those are obviously the lower hanging fruit that people would rather deal with. But I'm willing to work with you here. I just want to make it clear that what I'm offering most people wouldn't offer, and all I'm asking is for $5,000 off the purchase price on the property, and we can proceed. That is it. I'm not asking for $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 or half off. I just need $5,000 off to move forward with the sale. Now again, you might be thinking, okay, I'll just sell the property to someone else for $35,000 instead of $30,000. And look, I'm sure somebody will give you a contract for $35,000, but they are going to turn around a couple weeks later and have the same exact conversation I'm having with you right now. And they're probably not going to be as generous, and they're probably going to want a lot more money off to deal with the problem. So I just need $5,000 off on the purchase. The total will be $30,000. I'm still paying all the fees and everything. This does not delay the closing date, and we're good to go. I'll send you a contract right now, just adjusting the price to $30,000, and we're just fine. So look, those are realistically all the things you're going to deal with when it comes to speaking with a seller. Obviously, there's going to be some weird or funny situations that pop up here and there, but if you know your stuff like the back of your hand, the way I do, you're never caught off guard. I am never caught off guard. With the snap of a finger, no matter what I am hit with, I am instantly ready to handle that objection, get over that objection, and close the deal. You now have the negotiation tools that took me literally years to master, and that have already helped others successfully wholesale and flip land. Take my student Zach, for example, who was brand new coming into this business and was able to get leads, but he was struggling to close deals. He followed exactly what I taught about how to properly negotiate, and he's been consistently closing deals worth over $20,000 a month. Or another student of mine, Steven, who literally just started and himself said he's tried so many other businesses, but by learning how to master the negotiation process, he has been able to have his first $10,000 a month wholesaling land in month number 1. Now, if you want to go deeper into lead conversion, negotiation frameworks, the entire system, and exactly how you can start earning real money with a real business flipping land, make sure to click the link in the description to book a call and to be able to work hands-on with me, copy exactly what I'm doing so that you can make money and take this serious and not spend months and thousands of dollars trying to figure it out. I can show you tomorrow. Click the link in the description. See you soon.